Today we're looking at the Apology to the Augsburg Confession, Article 16, political order. And like its earlier article, what this really gets at is it is okay for Christians to engage in the political realm and to own property. Okay, it's kind of pushing back on this this thought that, if you separate yourself from the things of this world and you go be a monk somewhere, that's the closest you can get to God. But something that Luther, the theologian where we get our name from, one of his big things that he wrote a lot on and has been very helpful for me is this understanding of vocation. And the reality is that if you live well in your vocation, like you're just as close to God as a pastor or a monk who lives well in their vocation. That being said, what I want to jump on here is that there are some professions where it is a lot harder to live out your faith. And I think sometimes politics can be one of them. Okay, because it can be really tough to hold a political office and kind of stick by your faith. I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's tough, and I'll admit that it's tough. But you're free to do so. Just like there are other professions that I imagine it is very difficult to kind of stick by your faith. But that's the core of this article, right? You can be in positions of civil authority in line with your faith. And something else this also jumps on is that we as Christians are subject to secular authority. And this is something that I think we struggle with a little bit, but we do a podcast at Edgewater. In case you didn't know, there's a podcast. It's called Man Buns and Jesus, because I have a man bun and my co-host has a man bun. Well, at least sometimes he has a man bun. Sometimes he just lets his hair down. Anyway, beside the point, there's an episode of Man Buns and Jesus where we talk about what it means to be a Christian interacting with the government. And if you're curious about that topic, I would encourage you, check out that podcast. It is on everything. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Podbean. It's on Google Podcasts. It's on TuneIn. It's on iHeartRadio. Like, if you listen to podcasts somewhere, you can probably find it. Or you can go to our website. It's there too. But we talk about kind of how Christians should interact. And the reality is, if the government is not forcing you to sin, you should be subject to their authority. And a really quick, easy example is the mask mandates that we had for a very long time. If you're in this area of California, at least we don't have them anymore, which I'm thankful for. But wearing a mask is not a sin. It's not. It's just not. So if the government has put in an ordinance that you are supposed to wear a mask, even if you think it is insanely stupid, even if you think it does more harm than good, whatever, it's not a sin. So you should do it because the government, and we are subject to their authority. And that's actually, I think, an opportunity for a really cool witness. Because if you're doing something that, like, say all your friends know that you thought masks were stupid and you wear one anyway, they're going to say, why are you wearing a mask? You think this is the stupidest thing in the world. That's an incredible opportunity to say, you're right, I do, but I am called by my faith to, if at all possible, live under the government, the governmental authority. So that's a little bit on a Christian's interaction with politics. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have concerns, please drop them below. But if this is something that interests you, I would encourage you to check out our podcast. And so the title of the podcast is "Respect My Authority." And it is on YouTube as well as Podbean and all of the podcasting things. So with that, brothers and sisters, go in peace, serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.